Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Syrian issue in this short video. First, have you noticed, and if not, please read some history, how the Americans supported some dictators, tyrants in various countries around the globe who were, yes, sir, to the United States of America, regardless what kind of crimes they committed. They are doing it still now. Regardless of the democratic process in those countries, the freedoms of minorities, women and all that, as long as the guy in charge of that country provides our pimps with their lady of the night. The customers are waiting, which are banking system, military industrial complex, and economic and financial interests. Global, I'm talking. That's the first topic, which is, remember this reformed ISIS/terrorist in Syria? Now, he's not called that way. He's called a rebel. He's a reformed guy. He's reformed. I explained on many of my videos what that means to me. A reformed rapist. Have you been charged? Convicted? Did you go into the, to jail, prison for a while for your things, for your actions? He didn't. He didn't. He's just a reformed guy that we're talking to. Now, if you remember this reformed, how should I call him, ISIS guy, he had a $10 million bounty on him, placed by whom? By the United States of America. Guess what the United States of America did? Withdraws the $10 million bounty for new Syrian leader. Why? He must be following orders. Therefore, the bounty is out. Now, is that the way it works in the world? That's exactly how it works. The problem is these jackals, these guys in the media, the operatives, tell you that no, justice and justice for all. Remember? That's the first topic. The second topic has to do with the American illegal deployment of troops in Syria. It surged from about 900 that were illegally stationed in Syria to, I will let you know. So let's start with the first reformed ISIS guy. It's like you say a reformed, as I said, rapist, but he was never charged, convicted, sent to jail. Never. But now he's sitting at your table because he's reformed. Why? Your father decided that he's going to do business with this guy who, I don't know, did something to your wife, or maybe did something to his wife, maybe to his children, but he's reformed right now. Don't you think you should pay for that? He's like a thief who was never charged, and now because he's cooperating, everything is forgotten about. Oh wait, you say they are doing this? Oh yeah, with the pardons, presidential pardons. My bad. All right, let's start with this first article. Russia Today. This is from the 21st of December 2024. United States withdraws $10 million bounty for new Syrian leader. Washington's envoy said it would be incoherent to negotiate with someone on a wanted terrorist list. Therefore, what do? You change the notion, the term. The US will no longer offer a $10 million reward for information leading to the capture of Ahmed Hussein al-Sarraj, better known by his nom de guerre, Abu Muhammad al-Julani, following a Washington delegation's meeting with the leadership of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, in Damascus on Friday. So US is conquered Damascus. Earlier this month, Syrian opposition forces led by the HTS jihadists launched a surprise offensive across the country, capturing several military cities, including the capital Damascus. In response, Bashar al-Assad resigned as president and was granted asylum in Russia. As part of a broader diplomatic engagement, because we are very diplomatic, with the new Syrian leadership, Barbara Leaf, the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs, I have to look who she is exactly, I figured out she's a Stein, led the delegation to Syria on Friday, marking the first visit by American diplomats since 2012, when the U.S. Embassy in Damascus was closed. We conquered Damascus. They. During her meeting with al-Sarraj, Leaf discussed several key issues, including the need to prevent terrorist groups from operating within Syria. Preventing terrorist groups by a terrorist group? Okay, I guess, and to ensure the protection of minority and women's rights. How about the rights in general? No? Okay. And I'm quoting. We also discussed the critical need to ensure that terrorist groups that we're talking to cannot pose a threat inside Syria or externally, including the US and our partner in the region, she said. Based on our discussion, I informed him that we would not be pursuing the rewards for justice offer that has been in effect for some years. And if I'm sitting with the HTS leader and having a lengthy, detailed discussion, it's a little incoherent to have a bounty on his head. Otherwise, I should ask the FBI to come in and arrest him or something. Oh, can you do that? Oh, thank you very much for telling me. So FBI can come and arrest him. That tells me he is your guy if FBI can come and arrest him among his troops. Is this right? Is this right? Do you live your life like this? Like Miss Leaf's argument. So, I need something from there. He's doing it, but he did something to some of my family, let's say some children. And in the name of the new interest, I forget about it. It goes the other way. I can't arrest him now that I'm talking to. First, why do you talk to this guy? First, you arrest him. Put him on charge. And in charge. Charge him with something if you have anything. Since you had, now it's changed. Now this they call politics and diplomacy. If this is diplomacy and politics, I don't like it. Why? Because when you go to work and you try to pull something like this in your office, it's not going to fly. And you can't say, hey, this is politics, it's diplomatic, it's diplomacy. No, this is the same as it was in many, many years in this country. They used any tyrant diplomatically with bribes. That's called aid, financial aid for the country. Now, voted by our elected officials, okay? So they took care of this, kept them in office, overthrew governments, and then they went and they took care of them themselves. Then they started to grow a big head. We went in with the CIA and we pulled some strings and we had another color revolution. So that's the reformed guy for you. So is that how you do? A rapist now is going to sit at the table with the victims and everybody else? Why? Because you need him now? You're going to say, well, Emil, we're going to take care of him later. Don't you think that other people read this kind of articles and remember? And if that's acceptable, why is it not acceptable for me in everyday life? And I'm supposed to drive, let's say, 70 miles per hour like a fucking baboon, all right, on a freeway instead of, let's say, 150 miles per hour. I can drive 150 miles per hour easily on the freeway. How do I know that? I dreamt about it. All right, but no, I have to drive 70. Oh, that's a dog running in front. Okay, I'm driving 70. Oh, that's a horse. I know. You understand. And if I drive 71, a baboon, a machine, your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance, sir. Here's your citation. See you in court, motherfucker. You broke the law. And the other guys cross the Rio Grande, coming into our country. Our country, our property. How can we have this dissonance? We're supposed to think like that, but they act like that and they tell us to accept that. But if we try to think like that, no, we're going to penalize you. Next article. I'm so sad, upset, however you want to call it. Let's go to the next one. Here. Russia Today. Pentagon admits massive surge of US troops in Syria. Washington insists it was a coincidence that reinforcements were sent before the collapse of President Bashar al-Assad government. Well, first, you didn't have the right to send reinforcements. Correct? The US has revealed that it has more than doubled its military presence in Syria, with the Pentagon spokesman saying that he just recently learned, just a lady of the night, and excuse me, we just learned right now, that were in fact roughly 2,000 American forces deployed in the country, rather than 900 troops as previously reported. For years, the Pentagon has maintained that about 900 US troops were stationed in the country, and officials continued to repeat this figure even after the overthrow of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad on December 8. However, during a press conference on Thursday, this Pentagon Secretary Major General Rat Pat said that we recently learned that those numbers are higher. We learned? From whom? You're the guys. Given the difference in what we've been briefed and what the actual number is, I just felt it was important to get you the information. Oh, you felt? Thank you very much. Aren't you pay, motherfucker, from my money to tell me everything? Not everything, but you know. All right. So, remember, these guys are over there and are not legal. They're not. The US military has been active in Syria since as early 2014, ostensibly to fight Islamic State. Say what? Fight who? IS, formerly known as ISIS, terrorist, and has flown countless airstrikes against select military groups and at times Syrian government forces. Now that's a declaration of war. All right. So again, you got President Barack Obama, you got Trump. Nevertheless, my friends, my point is, and they want us to follow, the laws, right? Be obedient citizens and law-abiding and all that, right? And they do this. Now, if you agree with that and say it's in our interest, you're still unjust. Yeah, we're going to maybe have a better life than the other guys. But how did we do this? And then the guys in charge of us will tell us, will shift the blame and say, it's your fault. You're to blame, right? Yeah, you went around, you colonized the world, you this, but now we are having a little advantage with our finances, if you know what I mean, with our banks. We profit out of that. So we got the reformed jihadist that now we just have no problem with. And on the other hand, we just sent more troops. We just learned. I wonder how the Pentagon learned about that. So if the Pentagon just learned, who are the guys who sent them over there? CIA, FBI, NSA, the Hollywood. Who did it? Jon Stewart, Leibovitz. Who? These are targeting a certain segment of the population. We are not in that segment of the population. I want you to act accordingly and be a law-abiding citizen and accept this dichotomy, or whatever you want to call it, between the two ideas. They do this, but you can't do this, but you have to accept that as being good. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.